Alright, I'm messing with my brother's 2012 Audi A7. It's got the 3.0 Supercharger in there. I've been messing with it about 40 minutes trying to figure out exactly where this damn leak is coming from because I cannot figure out from the life of me where it's coming from. I even took my generic inspection camera down in there, still couldn't find anything. I got my homemade air pressure tester here. Just got hooked up to a relief hose here that goes back into the reservoir, or like a return hose, and then I got this kind of blocked off with a spark plug. And it seemed like I got to add about 15 psi. Well, less than that now. But I've checked the upper crossover pipe here, this bypass hose, this bypass tube, whatever I'm gonna call it, and I sprayed some purple power in there, see if it'll bubble up, and nothing. Back under the supercharger, like under what would be like, I guess, like a lifter valley on like a V8 or something. But in that valley, there's plenty of fluid in there. What will happen once I pressurize it, it'll come and just drip down and go down the side down there. Oh, I can see a little bit through that crevice. You see it down there behind the water pump. That purple, that red looking fluid. So wherever it is obviously under the intake. And I'm gonna have to remove the supercharger to get to it. Labor time on that is 3.4 hours. So I'm gonna have to get this pulled off just to be able to see exactly what's leaking, and then go from there and repairing the stuff. Assuming I don't break anything, because everything is literally made of plastic on this car. So the plan, I would like to replace the water pump, replace that upper tube there, thermostat, all that, because it looked like the thermostat was leaking also. And it seemed like you follow this upper rated hose, it'll lead you to the thermostat's plastic housing. So I would just, if I could, replace all that while I'm around there. When I saw Identifix, it was like 8 hours total to do the thermostat, the whatever's under here, or the upper crossover hose, that pipe, and the water pump. So that was pretty significant. I could never own one of these damn things, but the car's very powerful though. But I digress. So I'm going to when I pull this supercharger off, block off these, either figure out a way to reroute those together with the one hose and repressure test everything, because it seems like it's the only coolant that's going away from these two tubes here that I would have to mess with. And yeah, so let me get this stuff pulled off and we'll be back, because I probably might screw with it tomorrow. And let me tell you how dumb this car is, like just the engineering. Like, to take off this air duct, you have to take off this cover just to pull these two fasteners out, just to pull this off. Who does that, man? Who does that? I would never own one of these damn things. So let's get that pulled off and see what we're looking like. All right, so today is the next day. Wound up getting the supercharger off. I didn't pull off the crossover tubes here, these bypass tubes. I'm gonna tighten those back up. I just went ahead and disconnect the hoses and took off the drive belt. It was a 16 millimeter for the tensioner down there. See if I can get this light to come on. It's a 16 millimeter. And I did have to remove the air duct. There's some fasteners you have to remove, and then there's, so I want to say like T20 or T25 fasteners here that you have to remove, which is crazy. It's that little duct over there. Once I got that off, I had some 13 millimeter fasteners. There was 6 of them, on 3 on each side. Then some fasteners and vacuum hoses I had to pull off. And I just put a towel down and set the supercharger over. It's pretty heavy, but I cleared it over those studs and stuff. So we're at the point now where we just need to figure out where exactly is leaking. And since we were able to get a visual, I want to assume that it's leaking under this cover here, this plastic cover, because it didn't look like it was leaking at this tube here. I don't know. Wait, look at that. There's some white spots there. I didn't see that back there. but that probably could have been some residual from the purple power I sprayed on it, so I don't know, some sediments. But I'm gonna get a section of tube of hose. Where's it at? I just had it. Oh, here you go. This section of hose here, I took the hose clamps, and this is 5/8 hose. Yeah, one says 5/8, and I was gonna slide that on over. Maybe it's a 1/2 inch. That's a 1/2 inch hose. I don't know why I said 5/8. I get those confused sometimes. Slide that over here just to block this off. Take our homemade pressure regulator and tester. Start administering pressure. Wait. Definitely sound like it's coming from that cover I was referring to. It's supposed to bubble. Gotta be careful with so much plastic under here. There's our culprit right there. It's coming from this bypass hose here. It's a plastic tube. Oh my gosh. It's going under the direct injection towards the back. Look like it feeds the heater core. Oh my goodness. Like, I mean, look at this mess. Seriously, who the hell designs a car that's like all complex and convoluted? I'm not gonna complain, man. That's weird. So I know I gotta take off the direct injection. So we have our lines here. I can like take some take like a wire or something and just kind of pin that up. Hold this like a wiring harness. I think it is. I don't know. It feels solid, but just my luck. It's just like some plastic, like, I don't know, pressurized tube or something for some purpose besides like wiring. Don't know. Oh, man. So if we take this off, we can pry that up. We gotta get this line here. Oh man. Golly. So we gotta get that off. So we take those off, take all the clamps that we see. We might be able to just lift it up probably an inch or so. But then we still got to take all that stuff off in the back. Man, this is a lot of crap. Alright, I made quite a bit of progress. Last we left, I was deliberating on what I need to take off. And so I got plenty of things off. At the moment, I think I'm able to pull out this bypass hose. And what I currently removed was the high pressure fuel line. These were 17s. 17 millimeter here. If you had to, what they got going on around here? Let me see, there's that other brass fitting. There's another brass fitting here. I pulled this whole thing out. This was a 19 millimeter. So 17, 17, 19 to hold that. And I just pulled this one all the way out. There was this bracket back here and several connectors. Slid those out. You'll see a lot of them kind of sitting in brackets. You just slide them out. I'll use WD-40, some type of penetrant, to make it a little bit easier. And I left that one fastener at the bottom, took the one out the top, and that one bolt at the top held this bypass tube. That's the only thing that's holding in place. There's a sensor at the bottom down here. Not sure exactly what that is, if it's a coolant temp sensor or not, but here's the connector. I had draped it somewhere. I had laid it over something. Here we go. This is it right here. Now you look, it seemed like you have to take the lower part of the intake off to get to it, and that sits right in there because it sat over this tube here. And what I did, I just used a flathead to push down on it on the back, and I used a flat pick like this here to be able to lift up on the connector. And I pushed, so while simultaneously pushing down on the connector, because these are very fragile, you don't want to break anything, I was able to use this to lift up on the tab, pry down, and pull the whole entire connector off, so I don't have to remove the lower intake to get a lot better room to be able to get it out comfortably. So that took about 3 minutes. Now I think I should have enough room to be able to slide that back, expose the male end, and I can take that seal off, and then I can replace it as need. So let's do that. Move up on the lines here. No. No. It looks like it's broken. Please don't be broken. Please just be the O-ring sitting out. Oh no. Damn it. I was afraid of that. So life just got a little bit more difficult. Let's see if I can zoom out. If you look down here, it's actually broken, so you can see where the O-ring would have gone on there. So there should be pieces of this connector in there, of this pipe. Yep. I feel a spring. What is a spring? Oh, there's a little diaphragm in there. Is that another thermostat? I don't know, I feel like a thermostat's inside of here. I kept feeling like a little nipple inside of there. So I'm trying to get a good view of what that could be. It might be nothing. I just want to make sure it wasn't an additional piece of plastic I need to get out. I feel like getting a larger scope out. I was hoping this will be just fine. So you can see there's another thermostat in there. I don't know if that's... plastic or anything. Oh, there's some piece of plastic up there. So I know you probably might not be able to see it. I can see it on the inspection camera though, that the thermostat's gonna have to come out because of a piece of plastic sitting in there. Man, when it rains it pours. So not only do I have to replace the tube, now I have to replace the thermostat. So at least I know that's the only two items I need to get. Thermostat, that I'm not sure what this thermostat is considered, but there's two, but there should be one down here. The housing's flat. I've seen this one on like Rock Auto, and that one I'm not sure, but there's just another thermostat up there too. So let me call my parts stores and see what we can get. All right, so this is day 3. I finally went to Audi the next day after I called. We found the tube here. We got that in stock. Here's the part number here. Is 06E-121-065-N. So this is the pipe. This is it. This is what it looks like. This is what's broken. This is broken off. So I'm gonna order my thermostat. This was I want to say like $100, less than $100 at Audi. Volkswagen can have it, so you might want to get them a call. I had to drive about 30 minutes the way to get that. I got the thermostat ordered. I'm gonna go ahead and replace that while I'm in here. I had to pull off this little bracket. It was a T30. It was a T30 to get that from here. Got that pulled off to the side. I was able to get a 16 millimeter wrench that's sitting up against there. So when I go back to release the tension, I'll be able to slide this belt back on here. Reasons being because of this. I don't know how well that picked up. There's a fastener or a bolt or Torx, whatever you want to call it, that's holding on also to this pipe. And I'm gonna move all these hoses and stuff to the side just to be able to access the thermostat. We'll get that on camera. And I'm gonna try to finagle that tube out, get that removed and get that put back. I'll try to get that or describe what I had to go through. This is very convoluted. It's dumb. So I want to sit here and complain, but more I complain, the less I'm doing. So we're gonna start getting to work on this and getting it out. I'm gonna go ahead and call my store, get the thermostat ordered. It's an aftermarket Dorman, so cross your fingers. But at the same time, it's brand new. And with the mileage on here, hopefully it'll last another 100,000 miles. We'll see. All right, let's get to work. So this is a T25 here. So I use a T25 and T30. Careful not to drop these things because it just seemed like it's. I dropped a 16 down there, 16 socket, and I gotta pull that out some way. Fell down on the bottom. So take this here. Wish me luck. I'm hoping I can just slide this out. Shit. Uh-oh. Darn it. Need something to be able to get down in there. This is probably just going to have enough room to stay in there and clear it. I'm going to leave one in here, keep some downward pressure on it. Leave that one in there. There's another one on the side. So I got a T30 here, and I got this little special tool that I got from O'Reilly's. Never used it, but just in case I ever needed it, and it coming in handy today. So I want to be able to fit in this little crevice. Look like it's going to work. Come on, don't do me like that. That's what beat having to take the lower intake off. I'm trying to take off as least amount of things as possible. All right, we're gonna see what my luck looking like today. Just gonna right on out. If I have enough room to slide it up and out. So I got one more that I left in there. No, two more. Last one. Hollow sound. There's some luck. Please slide out. Just come on. Play. Oh, that's right. You know what? My dumb ass. I forgot thermostat in there, so I'm not gonna be able to slide it back. So I have to take this section of tube off. Wasn't even thinking. All right, this is very dangerous. So I took out two fasteners on the downside of this pipe here. I moved this plastic piece over. There was like a quick, like a retainer, a plastic retainer. Unzipped that, undid that, moved it on over, and I had more room. It was a T30 I had to use, but I wound up using a T27 because that's the only like a 1/4 inch. I was able to overcome that pulley or this neck, I'm sorry, the neck down here to hit those two fasteners to get the end of this pipe off. Now I'm gonna move it back because it's a pain in the ass to get that down there, and I'm hoping it looks like it's gonna work. I can remove the thermostat because that thermostat is long. So you have to so it's the bottom part that holding this thermostat can hit this crossover, this pipe up here. So take the pry bar, pry it over, and I was able to see, like, okay, cool. So I got a little bit of it. I'm like, okay, it's like it's gonna work. Let me go ahead and record it. So I got the thermostat out there, and I didn't have to take that section out. Literally would have been impossible. And I'm like, this car's well maintained. Look, okay, this car's well maintained, and that pipe, the plastic doesn't seem Where's that? I thought I saw plastic in there. Thermostat. I guess it's not in here. I don't know where the piece is. Because that little section. There you go. There you go, right there. That's some of it. I mean, there was a nice section that broke off in there. So we got a Euro part here. This is from O'Reilly's. If you're interested in getting one of these thermostats, it look just like the factory one. So we're gonna get this back in there and work on getting that, get this pipe replaced. Clean this off. I wish I had the O-ring to replace this here, but unfortunately I don't. This gasket is fixed in there rear securely, so we shouldn't have any issues coming out. I'm gonna put it in the same way. I could put some, like a smidgen of dielectric grease on here so it'll be a little easier, but I'm gonna take some coolant, go around there. Fastest thing I can get my hands on. Go back in there. I know I screwed something up if I hear a crack, so I'm just gonna pry just enough to get the appropriate amount of space. Oh shoot, no. This plastic here is brittle. Just kind of putting it on there and rubbing up against that is deteriorating. That's why I hate plastic parts, man. Why is that going in there? Not going in there. It came out real easy. I wonder if it has to be clocked a particular way. Oh yeah, so it has to be, there's a little hole down in here it needs to fit in. So it needs to be oriented in a particular fashion. Let me see if I can match it up with the old one. Just looking at them, they look similar. Oh, look how long this shaft on the aftermarket one does look a little bit for the third time. Now I cut it down and then I flared the end here to try to emulate what's on the factory one. So hopefully that'll guide it in like it's supposed to. So we're gonna try it again. Alright, the spring is collapsing. Fucking serious. wasn't even that hot. I don't get it. How the freak is a thermostat supposed to work if it can't get hot? Like, what am I missing? Man. I don't get it. Seriously. Seriously. Alright, I'm done for the day. Alright, what I'm gonna do tomorrow when I get a replacement in is pull the thermostat out, slide it in there, and then just put the cover on top, and hopefully that'll guide me in the appropriate position. So that's the plan tomorrow. I don't know why I didn't think of that. I just, you don't think of certain things when certain things happen. So that's the plan, and I should be able to drop it in there and slide this on top and put this in there, and we should be fine. But I'm gonna work on getting this pipe, and I'll just tell you, what I've done to get it out. So, yep, it'd be like that. All right, so we got the crossover tube loose. I took off this breather. I'm pretty sure it has a special tool, but I just lift up on it, and any tab that had pressure, I just pried up on it with the little pry pick, and got it off. I did have to spray a little penetrating oil down there. So that's off to the side. There's a quick disconnect in the back that's going to the heater core. I just took my thumb, released the clip, slid it out. Let me show you how that looks. It's pretty much like any BMW fancy quick disconnect. It's right here. So I just pry those tabs off to the side down, and they lock in the side there, and just pull it back. Damn. I didn't see that. And that has a the same thing with this one. Oh shit. Let's see if I can get this clip out. Damn, that's like, I wonder why it didn't just come slap out. I mean, look, it's another one. So it tees off, and this has a hose connect, a clamp on it. Oh, it's gonna be a pain in the butt to get off there. I'm not getting that clamp off. I'm just gonna take this, quickly connect off to this tube here. There you go. All right, I can saw that out. So I didn't have to take that part off. I took the wrong section off. I don't know. I thought it had. I just thought it went one place. It went two different places. Okay, and I'm gonna show you what that looks like. I was incorrect. So I can move it up. Okay. So this was the connector here. It tees off. Same principles though as far as removal. I mean, you saw me remove it. It goes to the back there. Hopefully you can see it. That's where it goes. I got it buttoned back up, so when I put the new one in there, I just slide it back in there and unlock in place. Take our new one, go in reverse order. At least we're officially putting something back. Oh, I'm slipping. place. This is the factory part. Man. Oh my gosh. Oh man, I broke the damn nipple. Yep. Accidentally rested on there and broke it. Well, there's no excuse now not to be able to get a thermostat in there. Alright, after breaking the nipple, what I wound up doing was just drilling and being able to tap that small area and put some JB weld on the threads and just run it down in there. So it's kind of like self-tapping in a way. And I'm just going to let that dry, and this should be stronger than what it was originally once this dries up. So I'm gonna leave that be. And as far as the pipe here, I had to put some dielectric grease on it, and it just slid right on in. So we got good contact on the block here, and it sits in there flush. I mean, me trying to force it in with a little bit of antifreeze didn't work, but once I put the grease on there, it went in there, just slid right on in. So I guess sometimes I just need a little bit of lube. I'm gonna work on getting this stuff back on here. I'm gonna have to leave this stuff alone so I can get the thermostat back in there. So the only thing I'll really be able to do is work on the back there, get all the connectors, brackets and stuff hooked back up. And tomorrow the only thing I gotta do once the new thermostat come in is just put that in place like I was before, and proceed to get everything installed in reverse order. What happened, I want to get the thermostat housing back in its appropriate spot. I got the Dorman part. The Dorman looks exactly like the factory one. That's the part number there from the Dorman. And being at the same size, that smaller point on the pin tool or that shaft, that was really necessary to help clear that hole that sat inside the block there. Also, I had to, once you install it, it was this back portion here, one of these clips, just make sure that overcomes the housing, and it just falls right in place. So I still pried it up forward and took the replacement and slid it in there. It worked perfectly fine. So just had to take my time, make sure I didn't pry this crossover tube too hard and too forceful, and it went back in. So you don't, the directions state you do have to take off that tube there, and I didn't do it. So you can do it without it, but you do it at your own risk of potentially damaging this tube here. And like I said, I'm pressure testing it. It's holding pressure fine. It's not leaking, so we're good. I'm going to work on getting everything back together, so I should have it running in a couple hours since everything is holding pressure. One thing I will say, when you are installing this unit back under the supercharger here, there's a little, if you on Volkswagens, you have this little reducer, and that goes into like a breather system, if I recall properly. I want to say that's what it looks like. You just want to make sure you put that back, make sure that's sealed properly, because if you don't put it in there, you're going to have some vacuum leaks, some issues. So I'm likely going to put that down first and then install the supercharger. I'm thinking about doing that, but it should, everything just goes straight down and straight up. So I might just be able to leave it in there. I'm not sure yet, but we'll figure it out shortly. I'm gonna get everything laid back over, get my high pressure fuel lines installed, and get my sensor down here installed again. Get that pushed back in there, and start getting everything put back together. I don't think that went under. I might let that sit over, not sure yet. It seems like it's more relaxed if it sit under though. I'm gonna get everything back installed again. I'm just gonna add a little more pressure. What you hear air whizzing from is through this gauge here, so it's not 100%. But my main thing is the repair. I mean, how's that holding up? Which is fine. I did. I got JB weld on the threads. It's in there. It's prepped. Actually the threads are in there when I tapped it, and so that should be fine. I'm not gonna worry about that. I know some people may say it's a hack job or whatever, but it's honestly, I mean, this is way better than what was on there. It's a brass fitting. If you know about these plastic tubes here, I mean, they do have brass in there, in some instances pressed in, so I'm not worried about that. But that's fine. At the end of the day, I didn't have to pull that off, because just removing this here is 5 hours by the labor guide. So I'm gonna go work on getting everything back together, and hopefully I can get some shots of that, and we'll get this damn thing started up and get it done and out of the way.